Man, I cannot wait to play me some Sonic. Right there. Sega! One second here. Bro? Who are you? And, what are you doing on my speeder?
I am Dr. Robotnik, here to take over the animation world and the real world.
Okay. So I don't get to play today. No?
Just you know, familiar.
Hey, that's AJ.
And don't try and look for help, because I've already erased all other cartoon heroes.
Oh, okay. So you want to take my friend and erase all the good guys from your universe? How about I draw Sonic the Hedgehog? Then you got some warriors on your hands, my buddy. What's up, animators? Host and artist Vic here. Welcome to Stay Tuned Animation, and looks like I'm gonna need your help. So I'm gonna show you guys how to draw Sonic the Hedgehog on today's episode, and stop Dr. Robotnik. Hey bro, anybody ever tell you look like an egg?
Really?
And Dr. Phil?
I can't ever get away from that.
Alright animators, welcome back to Stay Tuned Animation, where today we're going to learn how to draw Sonic the Hedgehog using Flash animation. Now when I'm doing the drawings in here, I'll have a top layer for the cleanup and a bottom layer for the rough stuff. And if you're following along and you don't have Flash animation, that's okay. You can get your piece of paper out like usual and draw with a colored pencil for the underlining drawing and a pen, Sharpie, pencil, whatever you want to clean up on the top drawing. And it's all good. We'll follow along together. And if you don't have either one of these, just get a stick, some sand, and start drawing, because it's still gonna look cool. But be careful, because you might lose your drawing if you're drawing in the sand, because the water might spray, cat might poop in it. You don't want to poop in your drawing. Anyways, I'm setting up my drawing. If you are using Flash, make sure your pencil tool is set to 100% alpha black color, and then your paintbrush tool is set to 50%, and you can pick a light blue like I'm doing. Alright, so now that we're all set up, I think it's time to start drawing the character. Now, of course, you want to start off with a circle for his head and outline where his eyes are going to be placed. And we're going to extend 4 different spikes, all different sizes, for the top of his hair for like aerodynamicism. Aerodynamics. It's the things that make him go fast and, you know, have spiky power. And then his body is in the shape of a kidney bean, and we're gonna pose him in more of an attitude type pose, something that really just makes you look like, hey, I'm cool, I'm Sonic, and I'm ready to book it just in case the popo come. You know what I'm saying? Just in case the popo come. Anyway, set up 2 fists, one in an action pose, the other down by his side. Now the legs look a little short here, but that's why this is just an outlining part of the drawing, where when it comes to the final eyes, we can always extend. This is just the part that's lightly helping us construct. Now let's put the shoes down, one facing towards the left of us and one facing towards us. Gives it that extra dimension, you know what I'm saying? Now that the rough stuff's done, it's time for cleanup time. That's right, guys. So now what I'm doing is I'm switching to the pen tool, but what you could do at home is switch to a Sharpie, switch to a pencil, whatever you want to be dark. Now a good tip to have is to always have the inside lines lighter and the outside lines darker. It keeps it clean, keeps it classy, keeps it looking good, you know what I'm saying? Now I did extend 4 spikes out, but little did you know, one of those spikes is going to be an ear, and the other one inside is going to be a little hidden one. It's not a horn, it's his other ear. And of course we're going to set up his eyes. His eyes connect in like a goggle type design, but they're not two separate circles. They're more of an oval, kind of like EJ used to have, you know? He used to be the little guy that popped up, and he doesn't pop up anymore because Dr. Robotnik took him. It's alright, Sonic's gonna save the day. As soon as we're done drawing him, he's gonna save the day. So we want to give him his pupils. His pupils are going to be tucked under a little bit, so they're going to be half ovals, not full ovals. So remember that when you're drawing. And his nose is more of a pointed teardrop, almost a shape. So don't go exactly a pure oval. Now we got to give his eyebrows some attitude. He's got a very sleek look. Very connected. There's not a whole lot of separation in the lines. The lines should all look like they're flowing evenly. Now, when you're doing the cleaning part, whether you're using pencil or pen, don't be afraid to have the lines continually draw. Don't feel like you just have to automatically go to the connected lines. You can make your lines extend and then always use the eraser. That's what the eraser is there for, unless you're using Sharpie. Then you got to be more delicate with what you're doing. His fists have 4 fingers. Actually, it's 3 fingers, 1 thumb if you want to get technical, you know what I'm saying? But, and he also has a bottom part of his glove that has 2 ruffles, little folds. Something to definitely take note of. And, what we want to do, a good indication for these legs that I told you may have been too short, you want to definitely extend those legs. The bottom of his fist should reach the a little bit above the top of his sock or top of his shoe. Not too sure what that part of the design is. Always you want to keep it in proportion though. Whatever you do for one leg, you got to do for the other. Unless, of course, you're doing it as an artistic abstract. Now, what we're doing right here is giving him a couple of back spikes. Now, he doesn't have spikes just on his head. He's not Super Saiyan. He's got some spikes on his back. And you definitely want to tuck those in behind him. Now, those are still on the outside, so you want to keep those lines thick. You don't want to put those thin. Even though they kind of look like they would be inside, they're not technically inside the character, so you want to keep those thick. Let's work on this other arm and hand. It's looking so good right now. So beautiful. Of course, you want to eventually give him some fingers right here. Yeah, there you go. That looks nice. That looks real nice. And his hand is not a butt. That's not a butt crack on the bottom of his hand. That's the part of his hand. Looks like an anatomy. You know what I'm saying? Don't put your mind on the butt. But it looks good. Alright, so everything's looking good. You got his belly design. Now it's time to work on the shoes. And the shoe has 1 buckle across. It's like a buckle type design. And then he's got either the top part of his high tops. They could be high tops, they could be socks. I'm not too sure exactly what he's rocking, but like I said, a good indication for you know if the leg's long enough is if the bottom of his fist is just a little bit over the top of his sock. Had we kept it what we originally designed, it wouldn't have looked right. So go off of what the final design is right here. And that's why we draw lightly, so we can make those mistakes, but those mistakes are ultimately what helps us build the characters. Now it's looking good. His socks, high tops, whatever, he's got 2 folds there as well. And when you're doing the folds, good note is the inside wrinkle, you want to keep that thin, and the outside wrinkles, you want to keep them thick. Clean up the shoe. And the nice thing about using flash animation is that it gives you the option of bending your lines where you can't do that with pencil and paper. The also nice thing about using flash animation is it's a direct import of your drawing, whereas if you did animate this by hand, you would ultimately have to draw this, ink it, scan it, then re-ink it or clean up the lines, then color it, and it cuts out the middleman, honestly. And I really love using flash animation. I recommend getting it if you can. You know, maybe I'll hook you up at the end of the series. Who knows? Alright guys, so the drawing is looking great. Taking a step back, I think it looks beautiful, honestly. And all we need now is 30 seconds of epic shading. Let's do this. Congratulations, animators, you guys completed your own fully digital, fully animatable Sonic the Hedgehog in Flash animation. Congratulations, guys. Hello, Sonic. Hey, good job, animators. He looks good, but he's not moving, so I don't think he's dead. Come back next episode, we'll draw Tails, and maybe he'll be able to help wake him up and free AJ so the show can get back to normal, you know what I'm saying? But before we go, guys, it's time for the common question of the day, which is, with the Olympics being over, I've always had this on my mind. I know there's a video game about it, but I need to know, who would win the most medals in the Olympics, Mario or Sonic? The most creative response as to why, down below, and I'll be sure to feature the most creative responses. So until next time, guys, be sure to rate, thumbs up, share on Facebook, and pick yourself up an official AJ t-shirt. We gotta save them. Alright, guys, remember, stay tuned. Peace! Seriously, I just bought the game on PSN.